we're experiencing these things and we're finding that we're setting up these itineraries or we're setting up these excursions, and it's like we know what we want to do, and it's like it can't just be us,
right?
You know, it can't just be us.
The people don't know,
right? So providing those tips and gems through our own personal experience, but also through doing the work, because we do this for other people, so we know what y'all want to hear based on clients. We know what you want to see. We know where you want to go based on the travel deals. So just kind of providing that knowledge and resource in a fun way, so you don't feel like we just throwing a travel and leisure article at you.
Exactly. We're breaking it down and we're making it something that you can both digest and enjoy at the same time.
Exactly.
And Travel Fly Sexy, as Jasmine mentioned, is meant to be an additional resource for you.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, y'all. Hey. Welcome to another episode of Travel
Fly Sexy.
I'm your co-host, Natasha Wilson, owner of Travel Goddess International.
And I am your co-host, sincerely Jasmine, owner of Boss Babes Love Brunch.
Period. So today...
It's going to be different.
It's going to be a little different. We're definitely still going to start with Goddess Mail, but just to kind of set you up for success, we are going to use today's episode to help you understand the who we are, the why we're here, and... the what.
The what the heck this is.
The what the heck is going on, right?
I feel like we came in, like, as you can see, like, I feel like our personalities are very straightforward. So you see, me and Tosh get straight to business.
Period.
So it was like, all right, let's set up these, schedules and topics. And we've done so many trips together in the, recent time of starting a podcast that we was like, wait, let's tell them why.
Right.
And
what's up?
Yeah, and why they could even trust us with this type of information.
Exactly. So it will still be very travel based, and we will be sharing our personal experiences and our personal faves. So stick around because you will still get the tea. But yeah, we just wanted to let you guys know a little bit more about us today.
Yeah, I'm excited.
But first things first.
Yes.
Goddess Mail.
My fave.
Period. From our inbox to yours, a little trending travel topics for your life.
Yes. So this one actually was an article. So I believe this was Travel and Leisure, where it said that the U.S. State Department ultimately is warning Americans to not visit the Caribbean, specifically Jamaica and Colombia.
That breaks my heart.
Yes.
Especially if you watched episode 5, then
we love Jamaica.
But the State Department is definitely a little hating on Jamaica right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, their reasoning seems fair, right? They're essentially advising travelers to not travel to Jamaica. Jamaica is currently a level 3 of, I think there's 5 levels.
Yep.
Which is meaning it's on high alert. And some of the things that they cited specifically as to why they do not encourage travel there is due to high violent crime right now, high sexual assault, and overall just the unsafe conditions of the country as it stands.
Yes. But it's really, really upsetting me and my homegirls because if we can't go to Jamaica...
Then where can we go?
Like, y'all saying don't go to the Caribbean. Where are we going to go?
I know. So first it was Mexico.
Yeah, first it was Mexico. And we obviously started with Mexico because there was so much fair warning about like how you shouldn't visit Mexico in the current climate. And there was a lot of controversy early in this year of incidents that had taken place in Mexico. And now Jamaica.
They're taking out all of our favorites, Jazz.
And Colombia, which I also think is a top seller of the Caribbean. I would say Mexico, Jamaica, DR, and Colombia are like the top 4 destinations for me personally when it comes to clients. So Colombia is also top of that list of like the uptick in crime.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's upsetting me and my homegirls, but you gotta do what you gotta do to be safe.
It's technically Latin America, but still, it's close enough.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And the worst part about the Colombia warning in this article too is that I legit had Colombia booked for my birthday in 2021.
Right.
And they issued this in 2021, like a week before. And my fiance was like, well, we're not going there. Mm-hmm. So where did we end up? Jamaica.
Now you can't even go to Jamaica.
Yeah, I know. So it's like, use caution. But what I will say, and we said this on episode 5, so if you haven't watched it, go back. If you have some type of discomfort or uneasiness, stay on the resort.
Yes.
We talked about in episode 5, a great resort that will give you everything you need right there.
Right on property.
And you really don't have to leave the property. Because I do feel like some of the concerns that were mentioned feel like they're off property.
For sure.
Like
for sure.
in the mix.
Yeah.
Up in the whole.
Yeah. And we always talk about the importance of safety. You know, when commuting in any country or any foreign place that you're not familiar, it could be even somewhere in the US, be aware of your surroundings and be safe. Like, you know, so that's why we do what we do. So if you're hiring a travel advisor, we're able to set you up with transportation and make sure that you are in trusted hands when in these places. Because I think that's the biggest thing. Just make sure that you're safe and, you know, ensuring you're in safe spaces with safe people.
That's huge. Yeah. So that's what they're saying.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. We're gonna see. We're gonna see how the summer goes, but that is a warning that the U.S. State Department issued as of recent.
Yeah, so that's our goddess mail. It's a little
sad this week,
but we wouldn't be us if we didn't give you guys all of the tea. All right,
so gotta keep it real.
Gotta keep it real. So with that being said, you can jump into our episode.
Yes, let's get into it.
Jasmine is so excited for this episode,
y'all. I was telling our producer, I was like, this is our personality episode. Because I feel like I said, we got straight to business, which is great because we business girls.
Yes.
But we also have a lot of personality. Yeah. So I was like, this episode will actually just kind of get to let the people know who we are. And you know, what to expect from us.
Period. So I guess we'll jump right into the who we are. So without being too long-winded, a little bit of background about me, but more specifically how I kind of got into the travel space. So the long story short, even though anytime somebody say that, it's never short. Like, why is it never short? But the long story short is in 2015, couple things happened to your girl. Number one, I'm about to date myself-ish, but I turned 25 in 2015. And when this happened, I was like, actually 2014, I turned 24 and nobody did nothing for your girl. And we talked in episode, what was it, 2? About my birthdays. I don't play about my birthday. So
we do not play about birthdays.
When that happened, and I knew before that, I was the biggest cheerleader for everybody's birthday. I was like, never again. And I also said, I'm not going to be here on my birthday ever again. So 2015 rolls around. I'm like, it's year 25. Let's get into it. So I did a week-long experience for my 25th birthday where I did half of the week in Las Vegas and the other half of the week in Los Angeles. And it really was kind of like my first big travel bug. So that was in May of that year. And then in August of that year, I decided to get into being an at-home travel advisor. So like my friend had told me a little bit about it. I didn't really know much about it, but I said, you know what? It's worth a try. And from that, I started a little agency by myself called Travel with Tosh. So that was just me, myself, and I helping the girls and the guys book travel across the globe. And also during that time, from 2015 to 2020, I too was traveling. So I was legit the traveling travel advisor.
Yes.
Jasmine was one of my first
clients. I remember Travel with Tosh days for sure.
Back then, with the purple logo and all that fun stuff. So over that 5-year span from 2015 to 2020, I just grew. I grew on social media, I grew my clientele, and I grew my love for the business side of travel. And 2020, much like everybody else, travel ceased. So I had a real big decision to make because I had also just months before that gone full time on my travel venture. And so I said, what am I going to do? But more importantly, it gave me the opportunity to build what we now have as Travel Goddess International.
Yes.
Right? So I added all these different components. I restructured the organization. I rebranded it and took myself out of it and made it more inclusive to everybody and gave other folks like myself an opportunity to do travel and grow in the travel space. So here we are, technically 8 years later from my original journey, but almost 3 years later from Travel Goddess International. And I just legit could not be more proud and happy.
Yes.
Yeah. So I got time in. Don't play with me.
Don't play with Tosh. Don't play with Travel with Tosh.
Don't play with me. But so that's how I got here. But, you know, as much with anything, every good thing starts with a pain point. And they tried me in 2014 and I said, y'all won't try me no more. I'm done with y'all.
Yeah. What do you feel like was your biggest pain point when it was just you?
That it was just me. Mm-hmm. No, but for the fact that it was just me early on, I think that was a bonus because I was able to easily manage and understand how to grow as an agent. Mm-hmm. And that was really some of the ways in which I was able to then develop the Advisor Academy and understand where those pain points are, mm-hmm. what can we eliminate, and how can we make this a seamless process for new advisors starting out. Those are things that I did not have. So from my pain points in 2016 and 2017 and even 2018, I was able to then do something, you know, in 2020 with the rebrand to basically eliminate those. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, they tried me and I was like, no more.
Period.
I'm going by myself. And I did.
And here we are, which I'm very grateful for. Like, obviously, in our first episode, I mentioned that Tosh was my travel agent. So period. I definitely remember those travel with Tosh days, the purple logo. Yes. Like, this girl outside. But I would say for me, it will be around that period too. So not to age myself, I graduated college in 2015. Mm-hmm. So that was my point of like my start of real adulthood. And I'm like, I want to experience more. So I'm a North Philly girl. Like,
it's the hand.
I lead with that.
It's the hand.
I love leading with that because it is like, you know, it adds diversity to who I am. Yeah. Because I really am a North Philly girl. Like, my parents live in the middle, down north. Y'all know, you know, you're from Philly. It's down north with the F.
Right.
And that's just where I'm from. And that's a lot of people from my community and, you know, my family and environment, they don't travel. That's not common. Like, my family didn't go on family vacations. We didn't take trips every summer. The most we did was go to Wildwood AC. Mm-hmm. And that was if, you know, we made the means. So I decided that in my adulthood that I wanted to make traveling the world a priority.
Absolutely.
Simply because I wasn't fortunate enough to have that experience growing up. You know, some people go to different places every year with their family, which is great. And I would like to, you know, eventually get to that point if I was to have a family. But I wasn't in that predicament. So once I got to having some money and having the means and the freedom to, I'm like, I want to make this a priority. Yeah. So that's ultimately when I connected with Tosh and seeing these travel deals online, like, oh, I could go to Vegas for this, or I can go to Miami for this.
Yeah.
So my first trip in 2015 or 14 was the first time I caught a plane as an adult by myself. Well, caught a plane as an adult in general, but I was by myself. So I went to San Francisco to visit a friend who went to school out there, and I was just like, I just need to go somewhere else. So that was like my first venture of like being a free spirit, like, oh, just out here by myself and like exploring the world. And she was in class, so I'm just like out like exploring Oakland and going to different places. And from there, I was like, yeah, I like this. Yep. And I could kind of plant myself anywhere and feel comfortable, whether by myself or with friends. Yep. So that's where I connected with Tosh and started booking those wonderful travel deals that we still have today. Mm-hmm. And started really getting a ball rolling with travel. And here we are. Girl, I don't even know how many trips down.
I was going to say, you've been outside now.
I don't even know how many trips down, but... yeah.
Started with a little, let me just go to
let me go over there. And now we've here, there.
Like in Paris this week, in Jamaica next week, and then like in Miami in between. Like now she's just outside.
We outside. So that's pretty much who we are when it comes to the travel industry. And I'm fortunate enough for TGI to be able to have a foundation of, like Tosh said, she went through the pains that she had as a travel advisor. So I feel like we're set up for success when it comes to clients, and it comes to the knowledge, the trips that we go on, the courses that we have to educate ourselves. So it's nice to actually have a vessel of knowledge when it comes to this travel stuff.
Yeah, because
it's a lot.
It is. And I had a friend, she texted me yesterday and she was just like, or was it yesterday? It was a couple days ago. And she just was like, people really outside claiming to be travel this and travel that, and they really don't know. And then she said this because she and I booked a trip. I did it in 2 seconds. I found a better option, better rates, and made it happen. And this is my friend. She'd been my friend for years. And she was still like, how'd you do that? And then she was like, you know what? You the travel guys, never mind.
That's your
thing. Then she said, like, people really out here doing this and they don't know. And this is not any shade to anybody, but this is more so an educational piece for our viewers out there, is like, understand who the person is.
Yes.
Like, this is why we're taking the time right now to do this episode. Mm-hmm. Understand who you're getting in bed with. It's like, as your mama would say.
Yeah.
Because things look great on social media. That's what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, what's the background? What's the knowledge? Do they do this? So, and travel is not an inexpensive hobby, if you will. Like, we make it a little bit inexpensive, but at the end of the day, some people travel once a year, twice a year on big vacations because they can't just jump up every 2 seconds.
Right.
And if you're trusting individuals with thousands of your dollars, you surely better know what they got going on. Like, that's just how I personally feel. So we're using this time to let you know what we got going on.
Let y'all know that we be outside. We be outside. We do this a little bit.
We do this for real. So that's the who.
Yeah, that's the who. So briefly, the what. Obviously, the what is Travel Fly Sexy. So Travel Fly Sexy, the idea, obviously it was Tasha's idea. Y'all know that.
I just be thinking.
But the idea, I would say, came from just, like, obviously we were doing experiences together, and it was like, we're experiencing these things and we're finding that we're setting up these itineraries or we're setting up these excursions, and it's like, we know what we want to do, and it's like, it can't just be us. Right. It can't just be us.
The people don't know.
Right. So providing those tips and gems through our own personal experience, but also through doing the work. Yeah. Because we do this for other people. So we know what y'all want to hear based on clients. We know what you want to see. We know where you want to go based on the travel deals. So just kind of providing that knowledge and resource in a fun way, so you don't feel like we just throwing a travel and leisure article at you.
Exactly. We're breaking it down and we're making it something that you can both digest and enjoy at the same time.
Exactly.
And Travel Fly Sexy, as Jasmine mentioned, is meant to be an additional resource for you. So in this day and age of people not reading, let's be honest, but they are listening, we are trying our best to get the information to you in a format that works and that you can share, listen to at your leisure, and come back for more. So the trips, the tips, the gems, the travel info, the travel insight, it's all coming from two individuals that actually go outside and do it.
Yes.
All right.
We out here.
We outside.
Feet on the ground. But yeah, people definitely don't like reading, because I'm people. I be looking at my phone and I don't even see the time. I just be looking at it. So I know that, sometimes information does resonate better if you hear it verbally or if you see it. But we also want to encourage you to travel. Yes. Because it's not always that expensive. And I think telling you all through our own experiences, because what is it? May, we've been outside.
I'm tired.
I'm tired too.
I ain't gonna hold you.
I'm tired too, literally. But it's not like it's been $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 worth of travel in the first 5 months of the year, because it would look that way. Yeah, that's unrealistic. So I think the reality is being able to say, hey, like, I follow this girl and she's always on a beach or she's always somewhere, and it's like, yeah, well, this is how you too can, maybe not do it as frequently, but you can do it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and that's why we talk about Travel Goddess International as our tool and vessel to get affordable travel to you. And it's also why we feature our travel deal of the week. And we really just keep talking about the different experiences that we have, because we want to showcase that it's attainable and that it can be affordable. But you have to want it at the end of the day.
Yeah, so that's the why. Like, that's the biggest why. We want you guys to travel. Tosh definitely inspired me to make travel a staple in my life. And I've since I would say back in 2015, I made it a goal to 2 to 3 trips. And then 2020 came, 2 to 3 trips a year. And then 2020 came and travel kind of halted for a bit. And then at the end of the year, those prices went down. I said, you know what? I could do 4 to 5. So then it was I could do 3 to 4 trips a year. And then 21, I'm it started to kind of level out, but I still knew that it was a part of my life at that point. So it was then 4 to 5. And then, now it's 2 trips a month sometimes. It depends on the schedule. But I think it's important to take that first step. At first, it was I don't know what I'm traveling for or why. I just know that I want this to be something that's a part of me, and I want to experience life and experience different cultures. And now I'm I don't want to be home.
It's weird.
Being home, right now, not having anything on the calendar for the next 4 weeks, strange. Strange feeling. Very strange feeling.
I'm halfway through a world tour.
Yeah.
And I'm tired.
Yeah, that's what we about to get into that world tour. This episode actually is about Tosh and Beyonce.
No.
I tricked her. I was we're going to talk about personalities. Yeah. Let's talk about ourselves.
And now she just
Tosh just came from seeing Beyonce, y'all.
Oh.
Beyonce.
I actually...
Beyonce?
Beyonce. Yes.
My gosh.
So the first thing that I will say is all hail the queen. Okay? Because mother is mother.
I was eating that story up.
And I don't even really do my story like that with my personal life. I don't.
If you don't follow Tosh now and go look at that highlight from the Beyonce
But tour. I specifically was oh no, we came here for a reason. We're going to give the people what they want on the first day.
Y'all snap. Yeah, you got to tell us. Yeah, go to the top.
So, currently we're in Taurus season. By the time you see this episode, we'll probably be in Gemini season.
Yeah, transitioning. Yeah.
It's currently Taurus season. So therefore, as we mentioned before, I don't play about my birthday.
At all.
It is an extravaganza, and it goes from April 20th to for real, May 31st. I know Taurus season ends on May 21st.
It's my birthday in May, so all month.
May 7th is my birthday, so therefore, May, we're taking it. All right? So it started with Jamaica the last week of April, and then came back home for 3 days, packed up, and went to Europe for 2 weeks, guys. 2 weeks. I started in London. From London, I went to Greece. In Greece, I went to Mykonos for 3 nights, Santorini for 3 nights. From Greece, literally went straight to Sweden on May 12th. Or excuse me, the 12th? No, the 10th.
The 10th.
For the first day.
I was there.
For the first day of the Renaissance World Tour. I had to be there, and I wasn't missing it.
Oh, my God.
Tired AF. My flight was at 6 a.m. that morning because I could not risk any layovers or any delays. I had to get to Beyonce. And when I tell you, I can feel myself shaking because, first of all, I was breathing distance from
she was so
Beyonce.
close. Oh my God.
You can see the video of how close she was. I can see
the sweat. Yeah, sweat was dripping on y'all.
I said, I can see Beyonce.
Yes.
Beyonce. And she just is so magic. But to be that close, I have seen Beyonce in concert several times. This is probably my 5th time now. But I've never been that close. I always opt for just a cute little 100 section seat.
So what seat did y'all
it was not a seat. So, which was crazy, guys. I know. We're not sitting. But it was worth it in the end. So this was the Club Renaissance section, which is the VIP extravaganza, da-da-da-da. They give you the welcome bags with the Beyonce goodies and the private bar and all the extra, right? For the low. before I continue, let me just say.
That's the tea.
This is the tea. This is the travel tea. We love Beyonce, but the real reason that I was able to make this happen is I'm about to tell you now. We love Beyonce in the States, but our pocketbooks might not love her as much in the States, right? I've been to those concerts.
Yeah, I've been, but I was in the nosebleeds for sure.
I wasn't doing that. So here's a couple of travel tips. Number one, if you are gotta go see her in the States, then make sure that you have some type of pre-sale access, whether that be through your credit card company, through the Bayhive, through your Ticketmaster or Live Nation status. Pre-sale is where it's at, because normally when you go and see astronomical pricing, those are resale prices.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
So I had access to pre-sale by way of my Citi card, American Airlines Citi card. So I got miles with the purchase, but y'all know. And then, so that's one thing in the States. But for internationally, Beyonce do not charge some people overseas the same price as she charges us.
I don't know why she hate us, but we all know Beyonce hate us.
Because we gonna spend it.
We gonna spend that 2K, that 3K.
And overseas, they're gonna be like, c'est quoi? So I got the Club Renaissance ticket, VVIP, which is a $2,500 ticket in the States for $340
oh my God.
in Sweden, right? The 100 section level in Sweden was $119 because that's originally what I planned to purchase. Then I saw the comparable pricing with the Club Renaissance, and I was
you
like,
get the full experience and get to see Beyonce sweat.
So that's what we did. So if you do have a favorite artist and they are touring in Europe, please consider going to see them internationally, because that was the ticket price. My hotel, I got 2 nights stay at this hotel that was 15 minutes from the arena. I paid $101 after taxes.
Wow.
For the 2 nights.
Wow.
2 nights. So now we're at $450.
Wow.
Right? And then I used points for my flight.
Right.
So the taxes for the flight was like $48. So all in, I spent just under $500
to see Beyonce on her first night.
On the first day.
Oh my God! Y'all, I feel like I was there because the footage was just so like what I was talking about it. I was on the phone with my friend. She was like, "Shut up." I'm like, oh my God. Mind you, like, I'm in a whole nother city. I'm not even home. I'm like, oh my God. I wanted to go so bad. I would have been there if I didn't have another.
You had to go to Chicago.
Yeah, I had to back to Chicago. I was in Chicago for work, but I would much have rather been in Sweden for Beyonce.
It was worth it.
That would look like an amazing experience.
It was worth it. But again, I thought it was perfect. I felt travel fly sexy in that moment.
Period.
I really did, because
that's what it gives.
Yes, that's exactly what it gave. It was like, all right, the travel side of it is, I'm in Sweden. I spent less than $500 for this entire experience.
Including a ticket. So the travel experience was what, $200? Not even?
Yes.
$150?
So there is that. Then it's like, the sexy component was like, it's Beyonce. All right. It's Beyonce. And then the fly component, in my opinion, was like the whole experience.
Yeah. Like from Greece to Sweden is crazy.
Thank you. Like from Greece to Sweden, like not actually flying, but like this is a moment. Yeah. Like the fly and travel fly actually is experience. Yeah. Let's be honest. Like it could be fly in the terms, whatever you decide. It could be fly because when you show up to vacation, you got that on, okay? But in my opinion, the fly is the experience. Yeah. So I think this hit on all cylinders. Yeah,
that was given
TFS.
Very travel fly sexy. I loved every bit of it. I was eating it up.
That happened.
So please go. And Greece looked amazing as well.
Yes,
like,
yes.
Not to outshine Greece. Like, sorry, Greece.
It's outshine.
The 2 weeks in Europe looked amazing as well. Yes. How was that?
I will say, if Greece is not on your bucket list, you're tripping. And I'm going to say that very blankly. Like, I'm usually not a person that tells people where to go. Like, I'm just like, what do you like to do? And then I can give you suggestions. But I feel like Greece as a country, you have to be there. It's hands down. This is now my second time there, and I still cannot find one bad thing to say about
gorgeous.
Greece.
It looked gorgeous.
The food is amazing. The people are lovely. The accommodations are all top tier.
Yeah.
The views, don't play with them. Don't play with them.
It's so clean. Like,
exactly.
Just white and just like beautiful.
Greece does it, and they do it well.
So let me ask before we move on.
Please.
Is it true what they say in Greece? Like the walking, like hills and a lot of stairs. Should you just do sneakers, or like were you able to get away with like a cute little hill?
Because when you said that hill, I just had a flashback, and I'm gonna tell y'all in a second, but I'm gonna answer the question first. So it certainly is giving bring your flats.
Okay.
Even in Mykonos, where there wasn't as much walking in hills, it's still just like tricky in certain places. So don't bother. Like when we were walking through the town of Mykonos, it's all cobblestone. When you're walking about, bring your flats. Bring your flats.
Fair.
Bring your flats, right? Then we get to Santorini. We took the ferry from Mykonos to Santorini. Santorini, you really better have your flats. And I tried it because this was my birthday dinner.
Oh, yeah. So you did a little hill. You gave a little hill.
It was wrong move. I'm still nursing the ankle.
Oh, really?
Let me tell you. So I didn't fully fall, right?
Oh, no.
But it was cobblestone. The whole resort is cobblestone. It's beautiful, but there are steps, not as many as like if you're staying in the Caldera. So this was more like one of the little like towns closer to Thera, like the airport area.
Mm-hmm.
I go down these steps. Bro, I get to the last step, second to last step.
Oh, no.
And my foot goes, shoo. So the whole foot slides to the front of my shoe.
Oh, no.
And it like inclines on this last cobblestone step. And I'm like, I might have like a very mild sprain because it still kind of bothers me. But I kept going.
We made it to Beyonce.
That was like the first, that was like night entrance, but like nobody could see me yet. But that was me going to the dinner. Child, bring your flats.
Yeah.
Don't do it unless you are just kind of stationary real quick. You're about to get some photos and then you're about to take them off.
Yeah.
Because we even had some of the ladies, by the way, this was a group trip that was planned by Travel Guides International.
Yes.
So if you don't know, we do everything. So
period.
Don't play with it. So some of the ladies originally had their shoes on. And
but then once they saw the landscape.
Top and they saw that we had to go down these steps to get to where our dinner was, they all they went back to their room.
Change.
I said, I
put the sandals on.
I should have had that same logic.
Yeah. But it was your birthday dinner too. You got to give a look.
It was literally May 7th. It was on my birthday. So I'm still nursing it. But it ain't like crazy. Just a little tweak.
It sounds like you had a great time. And
I had a fabulous time.
I personally will not get over that Beyonce. Like, Tosh saying Beyonce on the first night of the Renaissance tour in Sweden, like, it was no way we wasn't talking about that on this podcast. Like, what? That is Travel Fly Sexy in itself. So that's what the episode's about. We done. It's like, I'm just kidding. So let's talk a little bit more about our travel experiences.
Yeah.
So what would be our top 3 locations visited?
Ciao.
That's a tough one. I'm not gonna lie.
I know. And so as it stands, been to 35 countries now.
She be outside.
Yeah, 35 countries. I'm not going to do 3, but I will do 2.
Okay.
Because my number 1 is still kind of tied. My number 2 is Greece.
Okay.
But my number 1 is still tied. So it's like 1 and 1.5. It's Italy and Morocco.
Okay. Fair.
Yeah. So just to kind of put it into perspective as to why they're my favorites. So Italy was my first international solo trip.
Okay.
Right? My first European international solo trip. The year before, I did go to the Bahamas by myself.
Okay.
But first international.
Because when you in Europe, you're like outside. Like, you know, like Europe's not like a Caribbean on a resort. It's like, no, chilling. Feet on the ground. Like, you're outside by yourself, have to communicate with people type of vacation.
Yes. So that was kind of like magic for me. So that was in 2018. So it was a little bit ago, but it really just changed the game.
Yeah.
It made me feel so much empowerment as a woman, as a woman solo traveler, as a traveler, as a Black woman in travel.
Yes.
It just gave me wings.
I love it.
That experience still holds a special place in my heart for that reason, in addition to Italy just being an absolute beautiful destination.
Yes,
with
absolutely.
so much to offer, and the food and the wine is to die for.
Okay.
So it's like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, that's it.
Then Morocco. Child. Marrakesh specifically.
Yes.
The Palm Marie. Oh, child. I can't wait to go back, to be honest. To both
Marrakesh is on my list.
To both destinations. Marrakesh just changed my perspective on travel. So that was visited Marrakesh in the fall of 2017.
Okay.
It just changed my perspective on travel. It was technically my first time on the African continent, because if you don't know, they might be light-skinned, but they are in Africa.
African, yeah.
Morocco is at the tip.
Yes.
And I was just really able to see the world through someone else's eyes. Like, I had already been to, at that time, maybe 12 countries or something like that. But this just felt different. The way they moved, the way they talked, the way they embraced. I was like, oh, snap. This is like home, but not home.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. And then obviously just the scenery, the culture, going to watch leather be, made from scratch, the staying in a riad and getting that authentic feel, riding a camel for the first time. Like,
Marrakesh is on my list.
Morocco
for sure.
changed my world, man. So both of those experiences are just top tier for me because of how they made me feel. And I always say people will always remember how you make them feel.
Two completely different,
two completely different, but one same magical feeling.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. And then Greece would be.
Yeah, Greece is right there because Greece is lit. Greece is dope.
Okay. For me, I would say my top three. Hate to have a similar one, but Italy. I literally was just talking about.
I was gonna say, and it's okay.
I was just talking about Italy with my best friend today. I think it's like 6 years since we've been there, and Italy was so beautiful.
Yes.
And it also was like my first. I went with my best friend, so I wasn't alone, but it was my first experience of multi-destination travel. So being able to maneuver through a complete different place on their transportation and, getting around and like being on the trains, it was just an experience that you have to go. Like I suggest a Euro trip for every traveler. Like, if travel is something that you're passionate about or you like to do, definitely do a Euro trip with at least 3 destinations. Italy's a good place because you can bounce around and kind of do 3 to 5 places in a few days. So we were able to do Florence, Rome, Venice, and Milan.
Nice.
I feel like I might be missing something, but we did all of that in like a matter of like 8 to 9 days.
That's amazing.
So that experience in itself, top tier. Like that is my number one. And it's crazy because the food and wine is everything, but I just saw a TikTok about them saying the food in Italy is nasty.
No, they ain't been nowhere.
I said, if it's your pilot, just say that.
I was going to say, it's no way.
Y'all know I love to eat. And y'all
That's
know
probably the same person that don't eat Brussels sprouts. Get out of my face.
Like, y'all know the food is my favorite everywhere. Like, I'm going to get into the food everywhere I go. The food in Italy was so cheap and delicious. Like,
I can't believe they said that.
I couldn't believe that. And I'm like, as a person who thoroughly enjoyed the food, so I'm happy you mentioned, like, the food and the wine are amazing. The best pizza I had in my life in Milan.
I am disturbed.
The best pizza I had in my life in Milan.
Child.
So they be talking ish. Don't listen to them. Go to Italy. Get you some food.
I was just going to say.
You don't need to bring nothing. The wine is cheap. Get you a bottle. Get you the full pot. Like, it's amazing.
TikTok did not teach me.
Yeah, they lied. That was because sometimes y'all don't be lying, but that time y'all lied. Y'all lied. Second on my list would be Jamaica. Again,
Jamaica's number 4.
Yeah, to go back to the last our most recent episode where we discussed our recent travels to Jamaica, but I just love Jamaica. I love everything about Jamaica, the culture, the people, the food, the environment, the weather is always beautiful.
Yes.
I don't think I've only been twice, but in the 2 times I don't think it rained or whatever. Like, it was just sunny and beautiful. So Jamaica is definitely number 2 on my list as far as overall experience. Number 3.
I feel like I know your number 3, and you don't want to say it.
Really?
I'm gonna tell them. Miami. She don't want to say it, but
I love Miami.
I love Miami too.
I love Miami. I was about to book Miami today. I swear, I was this close to booking Miami today, and I was like, you know what?
We should go.
We gonna go.
Because we should just do a day trip.
We're gonna go. We're gonna do a day trip or like a one night to Miami. Because I love
it
Miami.
There. And honestly, I feel like if you do travel more internationally and you have more experiences under your belt, you actually grow a even greater appreciation for Miami.
Mm-hmm.
So when people ask me like why, like Miami's still in my top 5.
Yeah, for sure.
And I go, I understand the melting pot that is Miami.
Yeah.
I'm not just going there for the Ocean Drive experience.
Yeah, exactly. And I think
I'm
that's
going
why
to Wynwood. I'm going to Biscayne Bay.
Yes.
I'm immersing myself. It's dope.
The food. You have so many different cultures there, so you can really immerse yourself in so many different things. And I think because a lot of people are so used to that Ocean Drive experience, you want the drinks, you want to get lit, you want to go to the club.
Yeah, no.
Which is obviously...
That's fine. You should do that. I have that on my
It's obviously a thing
too.
in Miami. However, there's so much more to Miami beyond just like getting lit on a beach. So I always have like a luxurious dinner or lunch experience.
Treat yourself.
I always have a brunch experience, which we just highlighted recently on the TGI page. Some great brunch options in Miami. But the brunch is always great there. The food is good. Like I'm always finding new restaurants. Yeah, I have a list of restaurants I need to hit in Miami. So never a bad time. Like regardless, it's great for a vacation, a girls trip, a solo trip. Like it's one of those ones. Like so definitely my top 3.
Yeah, boom.
I love me some MI. Period. She be knowing.
I do a little bit.
Well, I guess we kind of touched base on this, but what would you say is your favorite travel experience, like ever?
Ever?
That's tough.
Yeah, because I feel like you're right. Like we did just, I kind of highlighted it in me talking about Morocco and Italy. But you know what? I don't know that it's like ever, because I really haven't thought about the everness, but I know that something that made me feel a certain way recently was my fiance and I going to the country of Dominica.
Yes. Gorgeous.
And if you don't know, Dominica, it is not the Dominican Republic. It is not Dominican. It is Dominica. It is a small island in the Caribbean that is fairly new to tourism in the space of getting themselves out there. But it's a nature island and it is absolutely stunning. But outside of that, the magic of this experience was like watching his eyes open to the world. And we had been places there before. I just told you guys 2021 we went places. We've been places. But this was very different for him. And honestly, different for me in the sense that I'd never been to this island, but I legit was just in awe. Just watching how amazed he was and realizing that I was instrumental in bringing this experience or these experiences to his world.
Yeah.
And he tells me all the time, he's like, I wouldn't be traveling if it wasn't for you.
Aww.
And I know that, but I also just know how enriching travel is to a person, whether it be in their creative mind, because now you've seen different worlds, different ways that people operate, and you can incorporate that into your creativity, whatever your lane is, or just whether it be in your gratitude. Like you see life outside of your world and you're like, wow, you have so much more to be grateful for, so much more to appreciate. And that's for me, like why I love travel so much.
Yeah.
So seeing it through his eyes was definitely an experience that I won't forget.
So beautiful.
I know. I love him or whatever. So what's yours? What's your favorite
For me, travel? I would say my favorite travel experience has been this year. It was my first solo international trip where I went to Paris.
Yes.
Paris is obviously a dream destination. And we talked about it on the pod before when we talked about Play Airlines, and that's how I got to Paris. So we had an amazing travel deal, and I'm like booking it for clients, and I'm like, wait, this is crazy.
I need to go.
This is my dream destination for less than $600. And I'm just like, I have to make a way. So at the time I was still working corporate. So I'm like trying to make it work around my schedule. But it was so amazing. Like I had lunch in the Eiffel Tower. I did a dinner cruise where we, like rode the river in Paris and just got to sightsee. And I did a photo shoot, obviously, in very true jazz here. And we went to like all of the, hot spots. So I got to see all of those things up close. And I'm just like, I can't believe this is happening. Like, it was so surreal. Like, I'm really in Paris, like by myself.
By yourself.
Just like doing everything I want to do. Like drinking cappuccinos and just like listening to music, like just vibing. And
being a girl's girl.
Yes. Like I had a pleasant time. It was amazing. And it kind of makes me want to talk more about solo international travel. Like, do it. Like, go for it. Like, I didn't feel unsafe. I didn't feel uncomfortable. I didn't feel disconnected from the locals. Like, I felt so comfortable. Again, like I always talk about how I make friends in different places. I made friends. Like, I follow people from Paris. I'm like, I'll be back and visit you guys. I think it was just definitely take that trip, go out the country. If Europe's on your list or, whatever country it is, like take that international trip and get those experiences.
I think that is kind of a reoccurring theme in a sense of just our past episodes, but also just how we operate. It's really from a space of encouraging. Like if you watch and you see, like our eyes light up when we talk about travel, when we talk about our personal experiences, and when we talk about how they make us feel. And if you take nothing else from Travel Fly Sexy, please, please, please take the fact that invest in your travel.
Yes, get those experiences.
It can be to Miami. It can be to Paris. It can be to Bali. Whatever it is for you, do it.
Yes.
Like whatever is going to make you have the twinkle in your eye that we do, we urge you to do it because it really does change the way you operate.
And you'd be surprised. Like, I didn't think going to San Francisco to visit my friend, like, while we're in college was going to, like, change my life. Right. So you'd be surprised just going somewhere where you feel this type of inspiration, or you might get this idea, or you might just be like, I love this. Like, whatever it is, whether it's that gratitude or inspiration or motivation to move on to the next thing.
Right.
Go experience it.
Absolutely. You will have a clear mind when you travel, and that will yield the ability to do more. I promise you.
Yeah.
I promise you.
I come up with my best ideas on the plane.
Right.
I be sitting on that plane, coming back, or at the hotel in those mornings, or coming back from like a great trip. I'll sit on the plane and like come up with like some of the best ideas, like whatever it is, whether it's something tangible or planning something for like the next trip. I'm like,
your mind's clear.
I love this.
Your mind is clear, and the space is free for you to be creative. So
yes,
please, please, please book the vacation,
book that trip,
and book it with Travel Goddess International.
Let us book it for you, because that really be the stressful part. And I know, because in my past, I'm like trying to figure it out. I'm like, I don't know. And I'm trying to I would try to compare price. I'm like, I don't know. Let us do it for you. You don't have to worry about the stress. And you just go and then you're like, you know what? I'm going to book my next trip with you. Like, exactly.
And that's on period.
It's easy.
Is that a good segue into our segments?
Let's segue into our segments.
Hopefully you know a little bit more about us. If you have questions, you can definitely leave them in the comments.
Yes.
And we'd be happy to answer them. But that's pretty much us.
Period.
So switching gears, since we're talking about booking your travel through Travel Goddess International, if you don't know, Jasmine and I are both a part of Travel Goddess International, which is a full-service travel agency that can help bring your next unforgettable vacation experience to life.
Yes.
Ding! So our next segment is the traveling travel agent.
Yes.
All right. So this is where we highlight our travel deal of the week. So in addition to being able to plan customized experiences, we also have prepackaged options that we call travel deals, and you can find them right on our website. And each week we highlight the best one we saw. So this week's or today's travel deal of the week is going to be a summer weekend getaway.
Which is very rare.
I was going to say, if you know, you know.
Very rare.
When you're trying to book Thursday to Sunday or Friday to Monday, they're going to tax
them
you.
Prices, you pay for what you get. If
you're paying for the fact that they know you off.
You off. Yo, we all off.
And you try to get away.
Yes.
All right? But not with Travel Guys International because we got you.
Yeah, that's a good
one. This travel deal of the week is 4 days and 3 nights in H-Town, Houston. Stand up. Staying near the Galleria area, which, if you know, is a very popular shopping area, accessible to a lot of the good foods and hangout spots in Houston, with round-trip flights from Philadelphia for $399 per person. Now, before I explain why that is a good deal, $399 per person, less than $400, right?
Per person. 4 days and 3 nights,
right? I already said it was the weekend.
The weekend.
But I didn't tell you how good of a weekend it was. So that $399 is going to be from Thursday to Sunday. If you know, that is crazy. Thursday to Sunday alone, that's your flight.
Yes.
Alone, that's your flight.
That's just your flight alone on the weekend.
That's your flight.
You're already off, so you don't got to miss out on no money, you know, especially if you got some flexibility. Work from the hotel on Friday before you go to the club.
Right, you don't got to use that. Exactly.
You don't got to use your PTO. Fly out Thursday after work. Use your Friday. Look, I know how to maneuver the system.
Did it.
Fly out Thursday after work. You use your Friday. You work from home. They don't got to know where you at. You work from home. And then you hit happy hour in Houston after. And then you go to the club Friday night. And you got Saturday and Sunday in Houston.
Period.
Come on. Less than $100 a day.
Get into it.
Yeah. For sure. That was a good one.
It was. I was like, ooh. And I personally love Houston.
I love Houston. Yeah. Houston
they also have fantastic brunches.
Yeah.
So
if you're trying to be drunk at brunch, go to Houston. But it's time to talk brunch abroad.
It's time to get brunchy.
Let's do it.
So brunch abroad this week, Jasmine.
Yes.
What we got?
So this week we are a little bit more local. So we're keeping it in the Philadelphia area. Jenkintown, which is just right outside of Philly. This is one of my favorite brunch spots. So they're BYOB. You know, I usually like to do bottomless, but BYOB. But when we talking food, the food is amazing. So West Ave Grille in Jenkintown, which is, again, just right outside of Philadelphia. They have an amazing, amazing brunch menu. Definitely one of my faves.
I'm going to have to check this out.
Yes, it's so good.
Ooh. So, like, is it like a brunch experience, or is it more just a la carte?
It's a la carte.
Okay.
But this is like, you know, we live in this Instagram era where a lot of things are like trendy. So it has like a lot of trendy items, like those loaded French toasts, where you can get like a strawberry shortcake or a banana pudding French toast if you're feeling like frisky.
Okay.
But they also have like amazing seafood, which they'll have like shrimp and grits, salmon and grits, crab and grits.
You sold me. Crab and grits.
Yeah.
Girl, I'll be there on Saturday.
They have all the seafood, and their grits are amazing. I'm a big grits girl. But it's the seafood option for me, because usually you just get shrimp and grits, but you could do a full, like, they have a seafood grit, and then they have just like anything you want to add. Salmon. You can add a chicken breast to your grits. You can add whatever you want. So like, they have a very extensive brunch menu.
I am so excited.
I think a lot of brunch spots in Philly can be a little bit limited to, like, you know, like they're 4 to 5, 6 items.
Eggs and bacon all the time.
Yeah, they'll have one French toast. They'll have a shrimp and grits. They'll have chicken and waffles, and then, like, you know, whatever, like a regular continental breakfast. But no, this place, you going to sleep after.
You going to sleep?
Yeah, it's one of them. It's one of them. That's how I like it.
That sounds amazing. Especially you had me at the various grits.
Yeah,
options.
the seafood.
Because most of the time when I go to brunch, I'm either shrimp and grits, or I might feel chicken and waffles, depending on how you prepare your waffle or what kind of chicken you eat. But shrimp and grits is usually a go-to for me.
Can't mess it up. But
wow, okay, West Ave Grille, we see
West Ave Grille.
I'll be there. Awesome. Well, we'll close it out today.
Yes, wrap up this episode.
Question of the day.
Yeah, so this week's question of the day is very simple, since we've been speaking to travel in general. Domestic or international travel?
This is not simple. What's
what's
ready
your preference?
For simple, and this is not. Okay. Damn it. All right.
We talked about both. We talked about both.
And like I have a love for certain.
It's beauty in both.
There is. Like, we just talked about my love for Houston and Miami, but then we talked about my love for Greece. And girl, this ain't simple. All right.
You want me to go first?
No, I have my answer. And I actually think it might shock people, but domestic.
I was not expecting it.
I know.
I was not expecting it.
The world just crumbled. I know. Like the travel goddess.
Really?
Me. Yes. So here's why. And I actually just was thinking about this yesterday in the shower. You want to know why? Why it happened in the shower? Because I was using a washcloth. Hear me out, guys. Hear me out, guys. I just came from travel in Europe. Mm-hmm. And unless you're staying, not everywhere.
In like
not
a Marriott.
Everywhere, but unless, like, so
you're saying like
when
a
I was
Marriott.
in Greece, the Mykonos property was a boutique property, but like large boutique, but still not a name brand.
Yeah.
No washcloths.
No washcloths.
Now, I learned this. This is another travel gem for you guys. I learned this years ago on my first visit to Europe, and I was like, whoa, where's the little mini one? No, because they just give you
hand
a hand towel and a large...
And a towel. A hand towel and a towel. Figure it out.
So now I always travel with a washcloth.
Mm-hmm.
But this time I forgot because I was doing too much.
Yeah.
So I definitely was the hand towel girl in the shower in my time in Mykonos because I needed a washcloth. The Santorini hotel was fine because it was a Marriott brand and they know better.
Yeah.
But like those little things for me, I'm a creature of habit and comfort. And as much as I love this great big world, those little things be taking me out sometimes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to choose domestic because I know what I'm getting. I love the world. I see it 35 countries later. But I'm going to choose domestic. I'm sorry.
That is so interesting.
I know. But it was like my reason was fair.
No, I was a hand towel mommy in Jamaica. I was like, damn, no washcloths. But that is a common thing.
Not at Ocean Coral Spring, though. You watch 5. We had washcloths.
In a lot of different... different areas that they don't use washcloths necessarily. That's not a part of their culture. So the hotels won't have it. Sometimes you can request it and it might not just be left in your room, but sometimes they don't have it on property at all because that's not a part of their culture.
Right.
So I too also travel with a washcloth in my toiletries.
Yes.
So yeah, that's a tip. Make sure you bring your washcloths if you're going out the country. Where
just in
sometimes
case.
you have it and then you just have a clean washcloth in your bag.
Right.
That's fine.
And you'll use it,
You use it when you get back.
When you get back.
But
use it
worst come to worst,
you
need it. Yeah.
But pack that jar.
Yes, bring it. Definitely bring it.
So what's yours?
For me, I would have to say international.
That's fair.
And that's speaking to the cultural experience.
Yes.
Like obviously I love the States. I love traveling. And we spoke on day trips a few episodes ago. I love quick trips. So domestic travel is cool. But when it comes to experiences in the overall culture, like going to another country and being able to take in something that I'm completely unfamiliar with, it's beauty in that.
Yes.
So I love going to like internationally traveling and being able to just immerse myself in different culture and like being able to try different foods and be around different people and get their perspective. They're like, you're from Philly? Like, it's like this black girl from Philly. So it's nice to get their perspective of what they thought or what they think of, at home and giving my perspective of what I think of their land and what it is now.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting to share that insight.
I agree that that's the bonus on the international side. But
she said, I'm on my rag.
Oh, washcloth, man. Like, is it too hard to ask? Jesus. And that's just me. That's just my, you know me. I'm like, I don't want a whole bunch of ta-ta-ta-ta. Like, I just want it to be simple and nice. And most times it is, but that be getting me sometimes.
Yeah, no, pack that rag.
I need my washcloth.
Yeah. Look for something. Bring it with you.
What type of traveler are you? Please comment below. Let us know if you prefer domestic or international travel experiences and maybe a little bit of why. Because for me, the why is the washcloth. And that's all that.
Yes, period. You gotta wash your face.
I love it. Well, that's our episode.
Yes, thanks, y'all. Hopefully, y'all found out some things about us. But like Tasha said, if y'all have any questions about who we are, what TFS is, or what TGI is, feel free to comment, and we will answer you accordingly.
Absolutely. And of course, please like, subscribe, and share so that we can continue to grow our platform and keep bringing you guys the travel tips and gems. And of course, if you have suggestions on what you want to see or what you want to hear us discuss, please drop it in the comments. Send us a DM at TravelFlySexy on Instagram and on TikTok, or even send us an email, info@travelflysexy.com.
Great.
Anything else?
That's it.
All right. We'll see you next time.
See y'all.
Bye.